everybody, it's Christine, and today I am up with a Doodlebug design layout. I am guest designing for them, and I am using the So Much Pun collection, which is jam-packed with really fun puns and all kinds of cute characters, and I just had a blast playing with it. So today I am focusing on, there's a lot of outer space elements in it. Not a lot, but there's definitely a chunk in there. And so I wanted to focus on that theme and play with it a little bit. So what I did is I cut out my son's picture into squares and I matted that with white cardstock, and then I added it onto the star patterned paper that comes in the collection. And then I'm gonna secure that onto some white cardstock for a base. Now, I'm not going to go real heavy on my securing right now because I'm going to do a lot of detail work behind the picture, but I do want the pictures there so that I have a guideline for where I'm working. The next thing I'm going to do is add these strips of color behind it. These were from another patterned paper in the collection, and I cut those out, and using the colors that I specifically wanted to use, I am lining them up. Now, I am not going to go in rainbow order here. I intentionally am not going in rainbow order because I have some elements that I'm going to add to it that need to be spaced out a little bit better than they were in rainbow order. Otherwise, I would have gone with it probably. But I planned ahead, which does not always happen. But in this case, I did plan ahead enough to know that that would not work. If you watch my videos a lot, you're laughing because me planning ahead is sort of entertaining. Okay, so carrying on. Now I am going to add in elements from the odds and ends chit chat, the odds and ends icons, as well as the icon sticker sheet that coordinate with the colors. So I'm kind of going with color blocking here, and you can see already how they're fitting with each color. There was not stuff that fit with every color perfectly, and so that is where I kind of winged it. You can see some of these elements are pretty big, and so I really didn't have room for there to be something on every single line, so that worked out in that respect. But there was definitely more of, say, red and more of the darker blue and more of the turquoise blue than there was of certain other colors, which is just, you know, the nature of a collection. Certain things pop out more. But you can see how adorable these different space critters are in space elements. You've got that really cute rocket, you've got a planet with rings around it, you've got this Martian coming in a spaceship, and I'm gonna add in a few big words here, and this is specifically what I was talking about when I said I didn't want to go in rainbow order, because I only had a few of these bigger words that would fit. And you can see already why I didn't secure my picture down too tight, because that word superstar did not fit there without where I had my picture placed. So I definitely was glad I didn't have it down too tight and I could move things around a little bit. Now, one other thing that I am doing here is on some of these, I am popping them up with 3D foam adhesives, using a combination of crafty foam tape and 3D foam squares and 3D foam circles, all from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L. And I'm mixing and matching that. I don't want everything to be flat. I don't want everything to be popped up. So just depending where they land is pretty much where I determine if I want them to be popped up or not. Now, I am going to continue to build onto these elements. You can see that I'm already starting to fill up my space really nicely. This is going to be a pretty heavy layout as far as how many elements I put on it. Partially, that is why I went with this lighter background. It's actually not a white cardstock. It's actually a Swiss dot background. I misspoke in the beginning there. And it has just gray dots on it. It comes from Doodlebug, and it is simple enough that I can go heavy on my embellishing. If it was a really busy pattern paper, it wouldn't work. The place that I did bring in a heavier patterned paper, or a more bold patterned paper, if you will, is right behind the picture there. I tucked back that black Swiss dot paper, and I did that because I wanted to draw the eye a little bit more to the pictures than I was getting at that point. I also did it because I wanted to add a title in black, and so I knew I needed to bring in a black element into this. And so by bringing it in right there, that allowed me to bring in the black title and also make the title pop a little bit more. I knew if I did a title that was in one of the same colors or even in white, it was going to get drowned out a little bit. And because there's already so many words on here, I definitely wanted the title to pop off a little bit more. So a couple reasons, why I did that. And, the Swiss dots in the black, the beetle black, and versus the lighter background really adds some nice contrast to everything. So that was good. I was so happy when I pulled that out and I put it behind and I saw like, oh yes, that is right on. You know how you have those moments sometimes where you're creating and you're a little bit stuck, but not totally stuck, and then something gets put down and you're like, yes. Or you put 15 things down and you're like, okay, and then that one comes up. That was that moment. Now, I'm making kind of a fun title. I am putting on it your Space-Cial, like your special. Since we've got puns on here already, I noticed that pun on one of the cut apart cards in the collection, but it wasn't going to work for a title on this page. So I just made it myself using some skinny black letters. Notice the spelling on Space-Cial. It's kind of hard to say that. Is kind of a fun twist on it. And these letter stickers are great because there's multiples of everything. I always have loved Doodlebug's letter stickers because you just don't run out quite so fast as you do with other ones, just because there's lots of options. And obviously I've been using those ones for quite a while. Okay, so I've got all my really big elements on there. I've got my title, I've got my pictures, I've got big embellishments, I've got lots of color. Now it's time to bring in some little elements. I could stop where I'm at, and I think it would actually be a pretty satisfying layout, but there's something to be said for mixing and matching your sizes in there. You don't want everything to be so big. It's nice to have some little things mixed in there. So I'm going to bring in these little circles that have faces on them that I think are supposed to be gumballs. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be gumballs. But you know what? A round thing with a face in it pretty much works for anything. So because I had them in so many colors that worked with this page, I decided to just go for it and use those. I'm also going to use a lot of the little stars from the collection for so many obvious reasons. And I am going to mix the colors up a little bit and bring in, allow there to be a little bit more color in some of the spots, because if it's all red, that can be overwhelming, or all blue. And so you can see little pops of other colors within there. Now I'm also going to use some of the enamel dots that come along with the collection. These are a favorite of mine. I mean, no matter what, almost every layout I do has these or Nuvo dots, like the liquid ones, but I use these all the time. And I just think they're a nice finishing touch to a layout. So obviously, I'm going in the color scheme, and what I'm doing is kind of working in a zigzag fashion. I don't know if you can tell that or not, but my design kind of goes, it starts at the rocket and goes left to the planet and then back right to the Martian, and kind of has a zigzag feel to it. So I'm trying to play that up with my enamel dots. Now, that is pretty much it for today. I am just considering now whether or not I want to add more or I want to be done, and I'm just going to add some mist, and that'll be it. So thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to check out my other Doodlebug videos, and I will see you again soon.